Okay, thank you. What up, bitches? Welcome back to Law of Attraction Changed My Life. I'm your host, Francesca Amber, and I just want to remind you, in case you missed this breaking news, that I'm going on a tour. Is it a world tour? Not yet, but that is what I'm manifesting. I'm actually manifesting that Penguin are going to send me to America. It's already worked with Dublin. I kept saying, like, I really want to go to Dublin. I have a lot of Irish listeners, and they were like, nah, we're just going to do it in London. And I was like, no, I feel like Dublin is the way. And then lo and behold, I'm coming to Dublin. So if you want to come and see me and have a book signing and photo ops and a fun night with like minded people, I am on tour. Let me see if I can remember these dates. I'm going to be in London at London Bridge on the 4th of September. That is the day that Manifest Like a Mother is actually launched. I'm also going to be there again, 2 nights running on the 5th of September. Then I believe on the Saturday, which is like, let's take a stab in the dark, the 7th, that I will be going to Liverpool. I'm very, very excited about that one because I went to Liverpool for my hen party and I had a lovely, lovely time. And then I'm going to be in Dublin the following Wednesday, which I want to say is the 10th. And who knows? If these dates all sell out, I might be coming to more places. Who knows? So go and check it out. You can go to francescaamber.com. There's a whole page there that you can see all of the tour dates on there. Come and get involved. I'd love to see you all. Anyway, get excited because I have recently discovered a new manifesting technique that is going to blow your mind. So, this is once again from the book Visualize, which we are currently reading in the book club. If you want to join the book club, bitches, by the way, I actually cannot express how much value you will get from this. Simply reading one self development book each month will absolutely increase the quality of your life beyond imagination. It's £10 a month. What can you get for £10 a month? You can't even get a McDonald's breakfast delivered to your house. I tried this morning for under £10. You can't. So please do come and join us. I shall leave the link down below in the show notes, or you can go to Book Club Bitches. Actually, now I'm saying that out loud. Is it Book Club Bitches or is it bookclubbitch.co.uk? I don't know. Book Club Bitch. Book Club Bitches. Look, try out both and see which one works. Or you can go to francescaamber.com. But we're currently reading the book Visualize by Maya Raichura. And one of the techniques that we discovered in this book, it ain't even really got anything to do with visualization, to be honest with you. And when I first started reading about it, I was like, nah, this is not for me. I already know this. I've learnt about this before. So it's called the seasons method, okay? And this is a technique to help you if you are in a busy period of your life, which for anyone that is trying to achieve goals and live their best lives, like, yeah, we're in a fucking busy period. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to do all the things. This is going to help you to supercharge your results and your output and become very high performing without risking burnout. So as I started to read about this, I thought, nah, this is cyclical living. Now, we all know about cyclical living. If you don't know, get to know. Cyclical living is the idea that so men basically are on a circadian rhythm, which is a 24-hour body cycle. So they wake up every day with the same amount of energy, and then it dips in the afternoon and then whatever, and then they go reset the next day, and it just keeps going and going every 24 hours until they die. Now, women are very, very different. We are on a 28-day rhythm. I can't remember what this is called. Something to do with the moon. I don't know. But it is a 29-day cycle. And during that phase, there are 4 very different, distinct periods, and we will feel completely different and have different energy levels and be better or worse at certain things during those times. And so I've been practicing cyclical living. I could never say that. No, that's not even it. Cyclical. I've been practicing cyclical living for, I would say, 3 or 4 years now. Ever since we learned about it in the book club. It was in a book called Do Less, Time Management for Busy Women by, what was her name? It's gone from my mind. It's gone from my mind. She does a lot of videos on Instagram of her dancing in a bathroom. No, it's gone. Kate somebody, can't remember. And when I first discovered it, I was like, oh my God, this is going to change my life. And guess what? Spoiler alert, it did. Simply the awareness of knowing that when I'm in my luteal phase, I'm going to feel like everyone hates me. I'm not going to feel like I want to socialize. I don't want to go anywhere. I want to lay in my house. I want to watch murder documentaries on Netflix. That's all I want to do. And in the past, I would have really berated myself and said, why are you so not motivated today? Do you not want to achieve your dreams? Do you not want to do this? Why are you so irritable with your children? Why are you like this? And now I have the awareness of like, oh, I'm in my luteal phase. It's totally understandable. Likewise, when you're in your ovulation phase, you can actually harness that to do your most important work. So if you have to be forward facing in your business, whatever it may be, filming reels, giving talks, I don't know, whatever, that is the time of the month that would be most beneficial for you to do that. That is when you're going to have the most energy. That's when you're going to have the most power. Did you know that if you're dating as well, that when you are ovulating is when you are actually most physically beautiful as well? Your features become more symmetrical and more pleasing to the eye. Isn't that wild during your ovulation phase? And so learning about this has been incredibly helpful to me as a woman trying to live my best life and also as a business owner. But here is where reality kicks in, and it doesn't always translate to real life. So in an ideal world, I would only have my child-free weekends, my holidays, my really busy work days where I'm speaking to 500 people on a stage, whatever it might be. In an ideal world, all that shit would happen during my follicular or ovulation phase, right? When I'm feeling outward energy, when I'm feeling confident, where I'm feeling great about life. And all of my quiet time where I'm just going to have a quiet homey weekend and not really see anyone would all happen during my luteal phase, right? That is what would happen in an ideal world. But let me tell you, I've been doing this for several years now, and you would not believe the number of times that a holiday or a very big work day will fall on the worst fucking day possible in terms of cyclical living. So it's not always possible to incorporate those practices into our reality. I have just negotiated, and I do say negotiated because it was like terrorist negotiations, to be honest, with my ex-husband, the dates that I have my child-free weekend, 1 weekend a month for the rest of 2025, right? It took fucking ages. It took forever. We finally agreed on these dates, right? If I had tried to get those dates to sync up with my cycle, forget it. Fucking forget. I would never have had a fucking weekend. It just would never have happened. So if you have learned about cyclical living and felt its power and know that it's right, but have struggled to actually incorporate it into your real life, this new technique you're gonna love. Since Maya Raichura has used this technique, she said she's been using it for a couple of years. She says that her results have absolutely skyrocketed, and I can absolutely see why, and I hope that yours will too. Maya has spent a lot of time studying high performance athletes. So athletes at the top of their game, business people at the top of their game, very, very high performing people. And what she's learned from them is that everything is in a cycle. Right? Everything is in a cycle, and that you can't always be on. You can't always be productive. You can't always be high performing. In fact, if you try to do that, you're actually setting yourself up to fail, and you will actually damage your motivation levels. So we're going to be focusing on a cycle that is intense focus followed by intentional recovery. Now, where in cyclical living we are looking at 4 different stages, this one has only 3: hibernation, growth, and harvest. Now we start with hibernation. So much like the luteal or menstrual stage of a cycle, this is when life really needs to slow down. When you're in hibernation, your energy is low, your motivation is low, your enthusiasm for life may also be low, and you really need to slow the pace of life down. This is a time to really sort of look more inward, to be more introspective, and to be less social. It's also time to do things that are going to restore and nourish your body, like resting, napping, watching those crime documentaries on Netflix, if that's what you like, gentle walks, nothing too crazy, just basically slowing down and giving yourself as much rest as possible. The next phase is growth. And this is where you start sort of metaphorically watering the soil and watering the seeds of what is coming up in your next harvest season. So this is when you are going to start preparations and work towards your next big high performance task. Like an athlete preparing for a big game, this is when you are going to be visualizing. Actually, this is a perfect time to visualize and to be mentally and physically preparing and gathering momentum for when harvest comes. Which brings us to harvest, which if you are into cyclical living would really be similar to ovulation. But as we've said, that don't always line up with your real life. So harvest is when you have your big high performance time. Now, this could be when you are giving a talk on stage. It could be on a really high performance day at work where you have to, I don't know, pull an all-nighter. I don't know what you do in your job, but whatever is a high performance task for you. So for me, I'll tell you what my high performance days are. I'll give you examples. So they are days when I have to go to London and I'm out all day and I'm maybe performing on stage to hundreds of people and meeting lots of people. It could be a day like today where I come into a studio and I record for several hours in one go. It could be, I'll tell you what is high performance for me actually. Going on holiday. Now, I know holidays should be restful, but actually, a holiday with 3 young children that you're just terrified are going to drown, that is actually like very stressful. And trying to have a good time and live in the moment and feel your best self, holidays for me are quite high performance. So I'd love for you to think about in your life, what do high performance days look like for you? And do you have any of these events in your life that you can think of? It doesn't have to be work related, by the way, that are harvest days when you are getting the majority of your work done. It's very results based. It's very productive. It's very fast paced. It's very high energy. Whether it's in sports, hobbies, your work, your passion, your business, whatever it might be, can you pinpoint what your harvest days are? So the harvest time is very, very demanding, right? And so after that, what we're going to do is very intentionally go back into hibernation. Now, this is kind of the magic, right? Because I can't tell you the number of times that I have had very demanding days or weekends that have been like a big toll on my body, like mentally or physically. And I've done a lot of work and it's been stressful, fun, whatever, it's all the same. And when I come back home, I'm like, right, I need to carry on. I need to just keep going. But actually, taking this time to slip back into hibernation and give yourself a period of rest and recovery is absolutely crucial to be able to start that cycle again. Now, I have fallen victim to not knowing about this fucking cycle at all and been trying to just be in harvest all the time. And what happens is you very quickly become fatigued. You don't give a shit about your work anymore. You can't be bothered with it. You're not motivated. You're not inspired. And you find yourself burning out and you don't want to do anything. So if you want to keep this cycle going, if you want to get back to your next harvest, it is vital that you get yourself into that hibernation state. Remember that rest is not a reward for working hard. It is a vital part of this cycle. So Maya says in the book that you can repeat this cycle 20 to 30 times a year, but it is important to note that you can work this cycle however feels best for you. So it could be that your harvest is a week long and then your hibernation is a couple of days. Or it could be that your harvest, this often happens for me, my harvest is like 1 or 2 days maximum. And then you have a hibernation of say 4 days. However this cycle looks for you, you can make it fit to your schedule, your life, and the goals that you're trying to achieve. So on a really practical level, how do you actually make this work in your life? So I would go through your diary and I got 3 different highlighter colors. So I did pink for like resting. Then I did green for growth because I feel like that's just like, green growth. And I did yellow for harvest because I don't know, I feel like when farmers harvest their fields, they're always yellow. I live next to a field. I don't know if this is true. She's only been in the country for 5 years. I don't know what's going on. But you go through it and you pick out what are your big harvest days. What are the days that you need to be high performing? You need to be on top of your game. You need to be A1. You start by highlighting that in the yellow. Then you can start to figure out what are your growth days before and how many you need. And then also allocate yourself that all important hibernation time afterwards. If I give you a small example from my own life of how this works in my real life. So as part of my up level and increasing the quality of this podcast, I decided to stop recording at home as much and actually to come into a studio and have everything professionally recorded, professionally filmed, professionally edited, so that not only does that take a job away from me, but also it's up leveling the fucking podcast. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm hoping, does this sound better? Does it sound better than my £60 microphone? I hope so. It certainly is going to look better because you couldn't see me before at all. But in order to do this, it was actually quite a lot of work. It meant that I had to write all the notes, come up with the topics and prepare for not one episode a week, but actually 4. So essentially doing a month's work in a very short space of time. Not only that, but I wanted to make sure that, I washed my hair the day before, so I didn't have to, I've got to be on camera, do my makeup, know what I'm going to wear. And so I had to make sure that in the days leading up to this, that I actually set aside the time to really prepare all of these episodes, right? I had to sacrifice some other things that I wanted to do because I knew that this was really important. So there was a lot of preparation in the growth phase. Then we have the day here. This is quite an exertion, actually. I know it doesn't really look it to you probably, but sitting here with like bright lights, just talking to your fucking self for a long time. Like, I've been here probably 2 hours now, just talking to myself. It's quite hard. It's quite a difficult thing to do. It will take a lot of energy from me. So this is the harvest day, right? And I want to make sure that I put my full energy into this and that I've given myself the growth phase to get here. Because if this goes well, right, I'm going to have a month's worth of podcast content, all beautifully filmed and edited and produced so that I can have that for my work. How amazing is that? But then after this, of course, what I have to do is give myself the hibernation. Now, this is timed very, very well because I do have a child. No, it's not child free. I've got one child, but she's very easy. I've got one child this weekend, and you better believe I'm going to have a nice rest. I'm going to let myself rest guilt-free because things take energy out of you. Stuff takes energy out of you. I've got a photo shoot in London next week. Now, it's something I've wanted to do for a while. My lovely photographer, we do everything in her studio. And do you know what? I'm over it. I'm over just having a white background. I'm sick of it. And I was like, do you know what I really want to do? I want to go to Shoreditch. I want to go to London and I want to have like street style picture. Like I want to just be out on the street. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want everything just to be like perfect in a studio with a white background. But actually putting that together and making that happen is a lot of effort. I still don't have a stylist yet. My agent keeps telling me to get a stylist. I haven't listened to her. I'm still trying to do this shit by myself. So you've got to prepare all the outfits and you've got to make sure you've got enough that you get enough content to make it worth going down. Then I've got all of the travel arrangements for the photographer, for Jay. My sister's coming to do behind the scenes content. And now Alex Foden is coming as well to help with my hair because I can't fucking see my hair when I'm on the street, you know what I mean? And the wind's blowing. So now you've got the coordination of all these people. Then I need to figure out what are all the great locations we need to go to. I need to get on Pinterest. I need to start looking at where people go to take amazing pictures. It's actually a lot of effort. Not to mention that I've then got to tan before I go. I've got to do my hair. I've got to do makeup. All of this is all in that growth phase. I've got to make sure that if I put all that preparation in, that on the harvest day, which is the photo shoot day itself, I will be able to get the best results. And again, a little bit like today, you really put 110 in on that high performance day, and I'm going to have content for weeks and weeks and even months to come, which will be incredible. Now, you better believe I'm really fucking exhausted after that. I'll be very, very tired. And so when I get back, I do need to put something in place to say, I am going to have a rest after that day. I am going to give myself the gift of a fucking break because it's going to be exhausting. You better believe, you think trotting around London in high heels, going to different locations, trying to take pictures, trying to look skinny, trying to look good. It's going to be exhausting, okay? It's going to be exhausting. And so you can begin the cycle again and again for every high performance day that you have. Now, those are kind of short-term examples. You could have a slightly longer term example, right? So for me, I am releasing a book in September. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's called Manifest Like a Mother. It's available now to pre-order. Check it out wherever you get your books. And And that is coming out in September. And I'm very, very aware that September will be like a very busy period for me. And so again, you can start to in the months leading up to it or the weeks leading up to it. There's no time frames here. Like you can do whatever is right for you, is to start to put in all of that preparation. And you better believe that after that couple of weeks, and that's the thing, that harvest is going to be a couple of goddamn weeks. I'm going to be on the floor. After that tour and everything, I'm going to take a deliberate action to have a week with my children. I was going to say I'll take them on holiday, and I just realized how mental that sounds, why I would choose to take my children out of school for a rest and go and take them to somewhere where they could be abducted or drowned. Like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. Do you know what? The biggest gift I could give to myself is to leave them in school and for me to have a rest. But after that, I do need to then redress that balance and have some really good quality time and have that hibernation period. So I hope that this has been really useful to you. I hope that you have seen how in the past, if you have experienced burnout or overwhelm like I have, and you've really struggled to feel motivation for the goals that you so desperately want, like you really do want them, but you find yourself feeling burnt out and exhausted by them, that this new method could absolutely revolutionize the way that you work. What I love as well is for the 2% of gays that listen as well, and the odd straight man. People can say there's straight men. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, that this can work for them. We always talk about the power of cyclical living, but actually this is a method that they can use without wondering where the fuck the moon is in the sky. Do you know what I mean? So I'd love for you to genuinely apply this to your life. This stuff only works if you actually implement it into your life. It's fun to listen to, but it's even better when you live it and you breathe it. So look in your diary, see when your next big high performance day is, and see how you can work this 3-stage cycle around it to achieve your best results and avoid burnout. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you got some value from this episode. You can rate, review, subscribe. It takes mere seconds and it helps me out so much. And you can also share this podcast with a friend. Share on your social media that you're listening. Why not? Show people that you've got very good taste in podcasts. You can tag me. I'm at Francesca Amber or at Law of Attraction Changed My Life, and I shall reshare as many as I can. Thanks so much for listening. The Law of Attraction has changed my life. It's going to change yours too, bitch. Bye.